how do you explain the unexplainable to a child? Well, joining us now is Professor Rachel Calam, a child and family psychologist from the University of Manchester. And there'll be lots of people watching us this morning with their children as well, struggling with this dilemma. How do we talk to this kind of thing to our children?
Well, lots of children will pick up information in all sorts of ways, and what we have to be really careful to do is to listen to children, to hear what their concerns are, and then to give them explanations that are pitched at the right level for them. It's really important not to increase their anxieties and worries, and we can easily do that by exposing them too much to things that they've maybe not heard about.
But is it also a mistake then to not talk about it? Because the automatic reaction, for me, is to turn the television off. Yeah. And to not expose a child to that sort of thing, but they're going to hear it in another way anyway, aren't they? Possibly at school.
The images that they may see on television may be very, very distressing, and I think switching the television off is quite a good reaction, and just watching the adult stuff when you have time to do that. Just explaining what's happened in very simple terms, emphasising how rare these events are and how, that these are very, very unusual events is very important.
So what is it? You tell them something bad has happened to you and then respond to their questions, or how would you advise? What would you advise parents to do?
I'd be led by the children. I'd be led by their questions, hear what they have to say about it. And I was talking to the taxi driver this morning, and he was saying that he gets children in the cab talking about what they've been discussing at school. They've obviously heard lots about it. Listen to the sorts of things that children are saying, listen to their concerns, and then talk with them about that.
How do you introduce, though, the concept to a small child that there are people in the world who want to hurt each other? How do you explain that in a safe way without terrifying them? Well,
if they've been aware that something's happened, then say, yes, well, sometimes there are people who do bad things. There aren't, there aren't very many of them. Most people in the world are good and want to get on well with each other, but sometimes bad things happen. It's true for many different circumstances in life. Sometimes bad things happen, and then, you need to look after each other and just remember that your parents will look after you, your teachers will look after you, and that the police will look after keeping us all safe as well.
And we've had lots of messages in with people seeing how they've been dealing with it. Claire says, our kids' school held an assembly on Monday for the silence and then explained to the children what had happened and gave them the opportunity to ask questions. So schools have quite an important role. And also controlling, I imagine, not controlling, but that playground exaggeration that sometimes can happen.
Yes, that tremendous exaggeration and the spread of kind of myths and rumours and ideas, and those sorts of things can be socially very divisive as well and risky. So it's so important to have informed, calm discussions.
Somebody else has written in, Karen, saying their children, let them play with their toys, let them enjoy their childhood. It's short enough as it is. They don't need to know about atrocities in the world. That, that's an ideal situation, is it? But it's actually, in the modern age, almost impossible to stop them knowing about bad things.
Well, there's a continuous flow of information, isn't there? And particularly with a story like the Paris one, where it just continues to break and break and there are more developments. It's very tempting to have the television running in the background. But children are like sponges. They pick up what's going on. They really absorb, even though parents may not realise that. And though children are very resilient, they can be very, very anxious, made very anxious by that sort of coverage.
Very, very quick question, because I know we're out of time. If a child, for example, says, going to sleep at night, I am scared. I'm scared of seeing what I saw. I'm scared of what I heard. What do you say to them?
You need to be spending time helping them to relax, listening to what they have to say, and answering as calmly as you can.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm not sure lots of people are thinking about that at the moment. Thank you so much.